In this video, we're going to talk about cropping. Cropping is something that you can do to a photo anytime you need to. It's very simple to do in the darkroom, and it can improve your composition, kind of gives you a second chance at your composition. So with this photo, for example, and this is a really nice photo, I actually had kind of a hard time finding one to use as an example for cropping, but let's say maybe they don't want this building over here showing in the composition. Now, when you crop and you cut off a portion of one side, it is also going to crop a little bit off of either the top or the bottom. So we could maybe go in a little bit tighter on the building there and crop it to something like that, okay, to cut off that portion. So like I said, it kind of gives you a second chance at your composition. Let's say you were taking a picture of your dog, but your dog was a little too far away, or you weren't able to get as close as you wanted to your subject. You can use cropping to then eliminate some extra background that you don't want in your photo, or just simply to zoom in a little bit closer too. So in the darkroom, with your negative in the enlarger, you would basically just raise the enlarger head higher. So this is the typical height of the enlarger when you're doing a regular enlargement. If you want to crop something, you're just going to adjust the height with the crank. And remember that the higher you make it, the larger your image is going to be. So it might project, your image way bigger than the 5x7 opening. And that's okay, because then that gives you a little bit more room to kind of move this around. You may even be able to put something that was in the center of the photo a little bit off center by moving it over just a little bit. So that gives you, again, kind of a second chance. Now, the higher you raise the enlarger, however, when you're making the image bigger, you're also making the grain of the photo bigger. So the higher you make it, the more noticeable your grain is going to be. So you do want to be careful that you don't raise it too high on the enlarger, that you end up enlarging the grain so much that it becomes noticeable and then your photo kind of looks a little gritty. But that's something that you can do anytime to any of your photos, to give yourself a second chance on that composition and maybe make it a little bit better.